well, and getting ready for their game on their own pace. So this is another challenge that you have to face coming out from the lower bracket, right? You've lost the series, there are some repercussions, and this is it. 2 difficult series. And let's be fair, Ted, there were no short games in this tournament. Sure, there may have been a short map here or there, but nothing has been simple and nothing has been easy. And as we jump into the lower bracket final, folks, let's welcome BESTIA and ShindeN together with Stake. Shout out to our partners. Let's get this party rolling as we are on Nuke to get this match started.
2 consecutive wins on Nuke for BESTIA, up 16-12 over Fluxo, 13-8, sorry, over Fluxo again. That was in the Rest Showdown, the second one. First one, literally yesterday in an overtime affair. For the side of ShindeN, there's been just 1 win on the map that they picked into the series over the course of 5 games. But as we said, there's a couple very close losses to teams like MIBR, like Imperial. Teams that are pretty high up when it comes down to the hierarchy on Nuke in South America. A CT side start though, and Buddha has already found that early opener onto Nas.
Yeah, BESTIA seem to be pretty aware of this outside play. Buddha is called in for reinforcements. We have Cassin further back. Buddha running out of bullets, so will be run down by Tommy. Actually considering if he wants to take a step forwards. Oh, he spotted out his opponent. A 2v1. Cassin also struggling to answer back. And with that 45 seconds on the clock with ShindeN waiting to make their next move, Nacho spotting Ivs trying to be sneaky on the lurk. Instead, falls to the ground. And Fraggedy and Tommy need to play it together with Timo being so quiet. They haven't got a clue he's here. Fraggedy ends up dropping quickly. Tommy answers in favor, in kind. And now we're looking at that 1v2 where Tommy has only 23 seconds on the clock to work with. It's tough.
It's very tough. Bomb on his back. And it has to be the IGL to ace clutch. It steps already heard and Tomajan is nearby. He should have the jump on him.
Oh, timing. Tomajan able to go the other way of the silo. Not quite spotted at all. So lands the headshot pretty simply, but it's BESTIA that were always one step ahead in that pistol round.
Yeah, it's a very nice and decent start here for BESTIA. They have been one of the teams that we've seen go hot and cold in some of their series, right? Sometimes have a very slow start, but then individually, the moment that they lock in, they're so sharp. And Fraggedy is one of the few players on the other side of the server who should be able to counteract with that, but they neutralize him straight away. And this is also going to be an interesting test for Fraggedy, right? Because as the newest member on the ShindeN team, the one guy that replaced Nacho basically on it, this is the first time that he's playing against BESTIA. First time that he gets to prove that he could be a little bit better than his predecessor. And also first game that has a lot of pressure on his shoulders.
Very true. Margin with first blood. And ShindeN close in on ramp. Full four-man force. Full four-man force. That sounds a bit like a tongue twister. Tommy taking care of Cassin. He was trying to take an off angle. Quite risky though. Ends up being collected. And Famas now in the hands of Ivs. High ground for ShindeN. This potentially looks like an A hit. And BESTIA, are they fully prepared for this? It's weird. Nas also creating a lurk for himself. ShindeN are in a very good spot.
They know there's a chance. Nacho was looking in towards heaven. That's why he smoked in towards the hut, and he's gonna try and push single door. Nas has got a good position. Refract should come through. It's a little bit later out of Buddha, so able to get one, but the refracts are still coming in.
Again, the positions just providing ShindeN that step up in regards to being able to convert on trades.
We're going B.
It's hard to imagine what the right call is. You're right, but the margins on the other side of the map won't be able to help. Timo can hear the commotion.
Is that a fake?
It might be best to end up with the kill. Tells his teammate to stick around near the A site. Instead of going back in a hat, goes in for the fake, breaks his opponent's ankles, and buys enough time for Timo to also jump in. Expensive, dangerous, but still one that BESTIA collects.
And it's still a force buy, by the way, so they're not gonna mind picking up the round. It doesn't really matter how many people you lose. I mean, obviously you would have loved to keep it cleaner, but in the end of the day, the most important thing is the round on the board. That was such an impactful play coming out of Tomajan and Timo. They make it very, very close, but they wanted to fake it out. Send one player to run in towards B, try and gather the information, because you probably thought the CTs would try and play this one together. So you weren't ready for Tomasin on that A-bomb side, and he faces them, plays with so much confidence. A lot of players would have backed off, by the way, in his position. They would have tried to play their lives in towards single door and towards HUD. Tomasin just walks onto the bomb side. He wanted the fight.
It shouts about his confidence, right? We were talking about how this man is one of the key aspects of BESTIA's fragging capabilities. How big of a star he can be. And when he's playing confident like this, just proves that point tenfold. Now, ShindeN limited to just the pistols. Only Ibs hasn't upgraded his default Glock.
The Argentinian scene is becoming very excited in the last couple of weeks, I want to say, because you've got Tomasin, you've got Luchov, obviously, who's breaking through at 9C. And won a trophy not too long ago, right? 9C's now won the XTC Pro League Guangzhou, and Luchov is looking good. And you can say the same for young man Tomasin. So there's a couple of Argentinian players that are actually in a very good spot now. You've got Marin and Luchov on the side of 9Z. Obviously, you've got on BESTIA and ShindeN. There's 8 Argentine players in total. And you've got some others spread around different teams. It feels like the Argentinian scene has very much progressed over the course of the last couple of months. And I know South America was always only Brazil, right? And just the Americas region was always only Brazil. For the most part, yeah. But now it kind of feels like all the other countries are starting to put forward their own talents, right? Uruguay, Chile, Argentina.
Finally having a piece of the continent.
You could argue that they have more talents than North America does now. It's a very easy argument to win, actually.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to argue for long.
No. Poor NA.
Yeah, it's been rough. Margin, look at you. Sneaky bugger. Going right past smokes. Threading the needle. Ending up with a pick and doubles down. This man just cannot be stopped. Has upgraded his AK now for his troubles. Tommy might be shutting him down, but perhaps job has been completed. 44 seconds on the clock, and ShindeN now to replan.
Yeah, the fact that Tomasin was still in towards outside speaks about his cockiness even to some extent, but he's able to go above and beyond. A double kill out of nowhere, and the bomb dropped outside. Cassin, bonus damage, able to drop Abyss. And it's Tomasin once again thrown into the clutch. He knows where Cassin was. It doesn't really look like he's going to try and go down B. He's got only 20 seconds. He needs to start making a move on. He doesn't have time for this. He can't clear all these angles.
15 seconds. Nacho, for now, unspotted. He's being approached by the molly, but the bomb needs to go down, and Nacho was even considering a knife. I bet his gears were grinding in that moment in his mind. But no, BESTIA end up with the 4th. Now, Ted, a little bit of a question on your end as well. I feel like BESTIA, the ceiling that some of these players have on their roster is tremendous, right? Tomasin, Cassin, Buddha, all of them. Timo, especially highlighted from this lower bracket run. But we have seen their floor on many occasions, right? It may not be low, but their floor, you know, exists, and it's been visible. How does a team try and limit that type of floor?
I feel like a lot of it comes down to the style of the team, right? And with these guys, it's all about confident play, all about rapid Counter-Strike. And sometimes when you're winning the fights and when you start winning games consecutively, this is when you play your best Counter-Strike. I feel like we're catching BESTIA in that type of a state. Maybe they weren't in it at the start of the event, but now with a couple of best of 3s, I feel like it's all about them building up some character, right? Is the fact that they went through some of these overtime, some of these very tight affairs, and they were able to come out on top. Nacho will clear out Abyss.
Story arc, right? It's their hero's journey.
Yeah, but a specific answer to your question would be you hide the floor when individually you're sharp enough. So even if tactically there's some gaps, it doesn't go to it. I feel like MIBR is the only team in this qualifier that could expose that potentially. If BESTIA have some issues in that department.
Fair. Well, a couple of teams have already gone in close. BESTIA only losing a series to Imperial, who have been knocked out of competition. ShindeN playing a role in that.
Yeah, the thing is with BESTIA, I do believe that especially back when they were with Nocti, they were one of the teams in South America that were actually trying to play more structured Counter-Strike and more correct Counter-Strike, right? They do have an identity, right? But they do resemble a Spanish team to some extent when it comes down to the style, right? The craziness is a lot more reminiscent to the style of a team like Gentlemates than it is to the craziness of Brazilian teams. And not just because of the language, but because of the way that they use the opers, the fact that they're a little bit more aggressive, because of the way that they have one or two rifles that are always initiating and running it heads first. They've got IGLs that want to be very, very proactive.
That's a fair point.
And they are momentum based to a very large extent, but with BESTIA, they have proven that there is a little bit more depth to it, right? It's not only momentum, right? If it was just momentum, they wouldn't have won all of these overtime affairs where they themselves made a lot of mistakes.
No, they had to dig deep in many of those occasions. You're right. Now ShindeN, a very important buy round for them to retrieve straight out of huts. Fraggy ends up with the first blood. Nacho also blinded. Tommy's utility has been superb this round, and it basically gives ShindeN their first round of the game.
That's something that they needed, and they need it desperately. And it's a good approach, by the way. Things have not really been working out when it comes down to the defaults and trying to take that outside control. So you just group up and go for a bit of an A-pop, switch up the tempo a little bit with something dangerous and a bit different. You just test out the protocols of BESTIA pretty much, and this time around no one goes crazy. Fraggedy with a big double kill, and those were his first 2 frags of this entire map. As we said, he's been their best player. So for him to have a slow start is not ideal, but this is T-side Nuke we're talking about. So you don't really need all the rounds in the world. You get away with 4 rounds, 5 rounds, you're in a fantastic spot. Sometimes even 3 rounds could be enough. It's just that you're putting a lot of emphasis on the start of the second half then.
That's fair. But I feel like one of the reasons why ShindeN feel confident on the T side, I won't say they're successful, because even though they've had close results against good teams, they don't have a positive record on it. But the reason why they're so willing to play it and have confidence that they can do pretty well is due to the sheer amount of T rounds that they've been getting. Right? I'm like looking at the T round win percentage, and it's at that 43.9%. And that's way more than the average.
It definitely is.
If you're not getting the T-side rounds early, then you may be in a bit of trouble, but it seems the trouble's not appearing right now.
Yeah.
Tommy Judge and Fraggy get one pick on trade, and then all of a sudden, BESTIA scrambling to pick up.
The problems have been fixed, it seems. Nacho's been taken down as well. What's happened with ShindeN? They've just shifted into a completely different gear. I mean, Timo's here, but he needs a crazy multi-kill if he wants to steal this round away. He's in a 1v5 practically.
Economically difficult as well, Timo. The only one that doesn't really have a full amount of buy available to him. BESTIA likely to struggle on the next, and a timeout's called off the back of it. Unfortunate that we didn't get to see the first few kills from ShindeN. Didn't quite get to see exactly how it was done. But I think it was near Squeaky into vents. That's where it all unfolded. I don't think BESTIA went over aggressive. I think they just got caught.
Yeah, I feel like that's the main thing with ShindeN, and the fact that they are a team that likes to test the waters, right? Just feel what the server is going to be like, and then you might enter a little bit later on. Maybe you need a little bit of time to identify some of the gaps in the game of BESTIA on the CT side. Shout out ATKgear.com. Go and check them out. Best peripherals out there. You have a banner below the stream as well, but that has been the team, the one team that has been having a lot of success on the T side. Best T sided team actually in this entire qualifier so far. The only one that is standing on over 55% win rate on all of their T side rounds is ShindeN.
Yeah, really good performance from Tommy Jed as well. I think his kill contribution is way more than his kill count.
It is interesting because these are the 2 best T side teams, right? And on CT side, both of them actually experienced some issues. They're not even in the top 4, not even in the top 5 when it comes down to their CT sides, but T sides, number 1 and number 2, right there in front of you.
Mint on the clock. If you're looking at Bestia's belts, not much utility available to them, just a smoke and a flash. Casson, though, may have the best case scenario. Lingers on pulling the trigger, hoping his opponents jump fully into a screen. That doesn't end up to happening. Ends up falling back.
Yeah,
Does
a little
ShindeN
bit of
continue
sleep.
to pursue ramp?
A bit of sleep of the wheel there, Casson, right? It felt like that would have been a free kill. He just didn't pull the trigger in time. Yeah, as you said, when it comes down to the ramp, it feels like this is just a fake. The bomb is still making its way in towards the A-bomb side. They've left Nacho here, but he's got Tomashin towards the back. Bestia have not over-rotated. They're ready for this.
How ready is the question? Nacho, unable to trade his life, has put Tomashin in a very difficult position. Timo assisting from the high ground, and all of a sudden ShindeN realize there's quite a lot of complexity to this. Ab is closing up the gap from behind, has told his team, chill, we've got this under control. Low HP onto Fragedy could cause issues for this attack. Pass play from Cassin. Fragedy's down, which leaves Abyss by himself. High ground for him. He's done damage to Cassin. One bullet should do the job. Buddha closing in, looking for the alternative angle. But it's down to him to try and toy with a potential defuse. What does the bullet count look like for Abyss? Half a barrel available to him. So not a full spray, comfortability. And with that, both Bestia players shoot upon him, get the kill and the win for Bestia.
That was a little bit panicky there for a second, but it's the fact that Bestia don't over-rotate, right? ShindeN takes so much space, they get the kill in towards the ramp or push the Oper back and get a kill elsewhere, but Bestia just didn't move. They didn't burst. They were like, well, you know what? You've got the ramp. Maybe you've got a player down secret. We don't really give a damn. If you want to go B, we've got 2 or 3 players down the B bomb side. There's no reason for our 2 A guys to move around and muscle. The rotations arrive very quickly as well, so this is Bestia back to winning ways. And it's important for them to guarantee themselves a win here, right? A 5-0 lead on the CT side, considering both these teams have been struggling on the defense. For Bestia, that would be a step in the right direction. Some might say a lot of the reasons behind all of these repetitive overtimes they've had to go through was their incapability of having a convincing CT side.
Well, Cassin helps in that case. Nacho too. Abyss realizes has to jump the gun and play a little bit more aggressive to make this work out for ShindeN, but they've exchanged places with the CT, so bomb left behind. It's well within the control of opposition. Ooh, free kill for Tommy. This makes it doable. One more pick like this. And the round is up in the air. 2v4 conversion. Hello for ShindeN. Timo's position goes largely unchecked. Therefore, Tommy Jed won't be joining his teammate, and Abyss is on the view. Step made for Timo, baiting out Abyss, and indeed the bait works and lands the triple headshot. Timo's
Margin for error is, I mean, it's just not existing. He's never missing easy shots. It feels like he's got an above 80% success when it comes down to these straight up 1v1s. He's so efficient. It's the low sense that we talked about yesterday as well. Makes him look so convincing when he's winning some of these kills in some of these fights. Nice fake step push you pointed out to try and bait Abyss to go for the fight. Instant headshot landed. 11 and 5 for Timo at the start of the game. The 7-2 lead for Bestia. Money still available for the T side, and that will be the case for the foreseeable future. It feels like with the loss bonus stacking up, especially if they keep planting.
Buddha baits out the AWP shot, so now they know that Ivs is around this area, likely to test him less so. Buddha's playing with fate right now. Double smoke permitting a potential cross, a triple one as well. To allude to a potential quick A crunch. I mean, this position is also respected by Cassin, right? He's joining in. Buddha's life cannot go untraded. Nice early pick for Naz. We'll continue to push while the rest of the team is circulating into secret. Pivotal position. Best they need to have it into account. I don't think Timo has any idea this could be happening. Nacho, aggression from him as well. Abyss nearby, but he won't be spotted easily. Timo, ooh, there's a gun, and there's a head. Suddenly, both Naz and Abyss, the two lurk players for ShindeN, are already dropped.
Look at that position from Thomason. This is such a difficult angle to clear out.
It will be. And he's largely left silent still. Timo joining in just on time. One player per entry from a ramp. Well, the bomb goes down and the 2v2 becomes a real scenario. Nacho closes in and he's confident with his shooting. Lands the headshot. Is a very dangerous clutch in his hands. Shuts down Cassin. Toes burnt by the molly. Knows where Nacho is, but does Nacho really test him? First shot missed. Aggression coming in from Nacho. Does he trace for the bomb? That's the question. Running for the bomb to be defused. Shot lands on both directions. No smoke available, and Ivs will draw out the pistol, and it is enough to seal the deal. Brilliant double clutch and triple overall for Ivs.
I'm not sure what happened with the AWP, by the way, but this is an electric clutch out of Ivs. Because it felt like Cassin was holding for that peak. I almost want to see that from the POV of Cassin. The second one is the one that we were talking about. Is finishing things off perfectly. Through the gap in the door. Tap on the bomb couldn't really guarantee the round. It did bait out the peak, but it wasn't one that went in favor of the CT. So you've got ShindeN now building up the money. Looking pretty decent and in a very commanding position. This is everything that the CTs have. Buddha has turned that hero M4 into an opening kill though.
I mean, the last time BESTIA were up against the wall in terms of their economy, they were able to win. Clutch, of course, needed for it. Maybe they can replicate that success. Buddha continuing his spree. Double kill. Still holding on. Buddha has had some troublesome moments, but on an individual level right now, he's flying. Flash. Oh, what? He ends up hurting most of ShindeN. Cassin capitalizes upon that bad flash. A double kill with a deagle, and Fragedy, he's on high alert.
Not like this. That's honestly too much for ShindeN. This was not a round that you should have lost. That should have been your ticket to a 7-5 half, and now BESTIA can still get a 9-3. This is talking a little bit about the nerves. Fail flash, you flash yourself, casting, capitalizing, getting a double kill on the Desert Eagle. And BESTIA now are just one round away from a 9-3 half, and this is the map pick of ShindeN. We were talking about how uncomfortable the veto and the map pool looks for ShindeN going up against a team like BESTIA. Especially with Dust2 being the second map. I feel like that for BESTIA has been such a specialty that it is very difficult to... God. It's very difficult to give them a chance. These shots out of Cassin were absolutely nasty.
Spicy, dude.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like a single player from BESTIA is just outstanding and outshining the rest of the crew.
No, it's
every single one of them has had moments.
Yeah, it's all of them contributing, and I feel like this is their best quality, right? You could frame Tomajan as the superstar, but then every now and then you're gonna have guys like Timo stepping up, Buddha as the IGL. And speaking of Buddha, he just sent him into the underworld. Bomb drop, double kill there. BESTIA on the way to 9 rounds at halftime. Ifs left all alone at 1v5. That's not happening, Pavlos.
No, it's not. BESTIA just decide that they're going to mow their opponents down here, just trample over them, go on the offensive, even though they have the defensive duties of the half. Those duties will be changing after this, folks, but a big effort required from ShindeN to come back. A 9-3 half, led by BESTIA in this Argentina head-to-head, a battle for the grand finals of the Closed Qualifiers of South America. This has been a very difficult game for ShindeN so far, but now on the CT side, maybe they can find some solace. I'm hearing some ticks on the server. No damage has been extended, so I feel like this round may be repeated.
Yeah, I think we are getting a bit of a reset. But hey, could have been worse. Some damage could have been done, or someone could have given away what they wanted to do on the pistol, and as of right now, both teams don't really know what the setup was on the other side, so everything's fine. We're just hoping it's not Thomasin, because he's had some issues over the course of the last couple of days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. NPC issues coming in, but as expected, the tech pause does come out. I mean, we were talking about how much individuals can have an impact in a game, etc., etc. Roll your minds back to yesterday. If anybody joined the game between ShindeN and MIBR, Fragedy had some of the most outrageous moments in that series and contributed to most of the team's success in Dust2, right? Gave them a real opportunity to get back. And when I say that, if anybody out of context is saying, oh, he probably got a couple of clutches, oh, probably got a couple of double kills, triple kills maybe. No. Every round, for the first 10 rounds of that game's existence, the only rounds that ShindeN won were off of Fragedy's aces. And let that sit in. That does not happen often.
That was Davideus and Fluxo, Pavlos. We're confusing them a little bit.
No. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, you are spot on that Fragedy had a very good map one against MIBR. He dropped to 25 and 21. He was on 25 and 21, right? So Fragedy did have a very good performance, and he's been, without a doubt, the most standout player of this entire event, right? He's the highest rated player after Venom Zero, so second highest rated player of this entire tournament heading into the grand finals day. So you are spot on. It's just that the aces were Davideus.
You're right. You're right. It's all turned into a blur, right? It's thinking about individuals popping off, and I feel like
that was
Fragedy's been so good. I've put it close to Davideus there, but you're right. You
know what? He's good enough. We can give him everything.
Yeah, give him it all. So, uncertain of the current tech pause situation. Hopefully we can jump into the action again soon.
Look at the bottom right.
Oh, it's another puppy dog. Same one.
It's the same puppy.
I know, but, you know, for us it's another puppy dog because it's just seen another time. It's back. I know this question, but chat doesn't. Are you a dog or cat person, Ted?
Chat doesn't. Well, I love all animals, Pavlos. In general, I love animals, so I like both of them. But I do have a cat. I do prefer cats slightly, but I am not one of these people that like just the one and don't like the other. I like dogs as well, very much.
Fair. Cool.
I do slightly prefer cats, but
yeah, I'm on the same wavelength with you. I like both. Really cool, but dog's slight edge.
Sure. You know what does the trick with cats for me?
What?
I don't need to take them out every day at 6 in the morning.
You said that while staring at me as if you have to take me out every day at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'm
just talking to you, so I'm looking at you.
I was like, wait, is he trying to insinuate something here? Okay, well, thankfully the pause is over and we can get into the second half of the series. ShindeN now on the CT side with quite a lot to do, and they're stacking up 3 players closing in on Trophy Room. Timo could be waiting for this, and indeed he is. Lovely first shot. That's insane.
Is he ready
for more? Do you continue this pursuit?
Well, I'm still there. I think you see that first player so up close and personal, you know there's going to be a second guy, so you don't want to be the one initiating too early. You can let your teammates work around the map. Now you go for the peak, Timo. One more gathered, and he spotted Ivs as well. He's on a bit of a streak, isn't he? Jumping in, turning around. Ivs is getting the first, but Refrac's coming in. And Tommy's left in another despicable clutch.
Yeah, this time doesn't have little yellow minions running around to help. You said despicable, sorry, I went into movie reference mode.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't like that movie initially, but then it grew on me.
Banana.
You got the pun, right?
Well, there was a pun in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it grew on me. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, that is good. I'm glad you didn't have to explain it.
I'm
glad you didn't have to
glad
explain it because I'd feel bad. But yeah. Well, double digits on the board, and this has made ShindeN's lives a lot more difficult. This was their map pick after all, and BESTIA.
Yeah, and we
no slouches on the T side either.
I think that T side pistol did show us what we were talking about in the first half with the style of the team as well, to some extent with some of these pistols. They like playing proactive and very confident Counter-Strike, but sometimes you're gonna see them try and be more punishing, right? They're not always going to be the initiators, so some of their players are more than happy with just being reactive. Teemo's one of them. He's a very good example. I feel like it's him and Nacho and Canids to some extent. Kind of balances out with the craziness of Tomashin and Buddha.
Double setup. Sort of group up to make this one work, but even though it's a double setup, the Molly has isolated one from the fight. Ooh, BESTIA want nothing of it. Naz also wins an individual duel of his own. And BESTIA's attack is collapsing.
Look at the HP. They're all so low. This one's run out of control.
Trying to move back into the A site. Iv's on the other end. There's all the time in the world to react onto Nacho's position. This isn't even close. Super duper clean.
That's a great round impact-wise on the scout of Ivs, by the way. He landed so many tags, and then the rotation down secret, the block with the smoke, but then before that they had the HEs and they were able to double peek with the pistols and the SMGs. That was a great reaction out of ShindeN. We kind of overlooked it, but that was the force buy. You lose this, you probably lose the map. Shout out Lorgar, our official PC partners. Go and check them out. But now ShindeN have turned things around. Obviously, the HUD is a little bit flipped. But we've got our best man on it, so don't you worry. Now it's how it's supposed to be. We're good.
Well, ShindeN might also be good in a bit. They're dealing up against a pistol round. It's a force buy from BESTIA, so they're looking to see if they can be disrupted from the very beginning. Fragedy has got reinforcements to take down these stragglers, and indeed, those stragglers are struggling. Timo, all that remains, gives away a footstep, so Naz is wary of where he should be looking, and it's as clean as it comes for this round by ShindeN.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird, by the way, because you notice how there was 3 players down secret, right? 2 of them started running in towards control on the right-hand side, towards the double doors. The one player with the bomb spotted the jump spotting CT in towards the stairs on the left-hand side and started running decon side with the bomb on his back. So that was a bit of a moment of miscommunication there for BESTIA. They didn't really know what they wanted to do together, or someone just decided, you know what, I'm going to change the plan. Shout out Steak. Don't forget about the weekly reload of $35. Go and check them out below. Click the banner below the stream. You can use code STAR35. Star as StarLadder, but just the first 4 letters. Contact the Steak support. Deposit minimum $20 and then receive $5 over 7 days. That equals 35.
Quick maths.
5 times 7 is 35.
Everyday amount of the block. Smoke tree.
What's 12 times 5, Pavlos? Quickfire.
70.
It's 60.
60. I tried. Oh no. I tried to do it without actually doing the maths. I was like, ooh.
So you tried to just guess,
yes.
basically.
It was as close as a guess to a guesstimation, I guess.
Phenomenal.
A lot of guessing.
That is great, because I think if people have been here since day one, they know you're not trolling. It makes it so much better. Yeah. Maps are great, man. I love maps on stream. It's a nice cleanup out of ShindeN. They love maths as well. They're putting all the numbers in the calculator right now, trying to calculate how much money they're going to have in the next round. Considering this is going to be an 0-5 alive, the answer is a lot of money.
The thing is, when you said quick, it gave more importance to the urgency of the answer rather than the accuracy.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, try and make it sound like you were just prioritizing.
No, I'm trying to give an excuse to how my brain works.
Yeah. Like when someone tells you, you gotta do this quick. You just do something quick. Because you emphasized on quick.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do what you asked before, but it was quick. It was very fast.
Pretty much.
That outside approach is fast out of Buddha. He's already down secret, but he has taken a little bit of damage. Thing is, he's ahead of the rotations, and Thomas just actually shut down Fraggerty through the smoke. I'm not really sure if the CTs realize that there's a player down there already. Thing is, they can technically still go down the vent because Buddha's decided to play this one a little bit more passive, but BESTIA have gotten themselves an early 5v4 and a lot of time to play.
Not too shabby from BESTIA. Buddha on a solo journey. He's about to be approached by two players. Needs to be cautious. Isn't currently looking in the direction of where ShindeN are approaching from, but catches Naz off guard as Abbas was looking in a different direction. There's a trade there, but it provides information to how BESTIA should be approaching this round. Tommy, spotted from above, already inflicted damage, so you know exactly where your opponents are if you're BESTIA, which is exactly where you need to be. Abbas moving quickly outside of vent. Tommy ends up falling, but Abbas gets a real opportunity for the clutch. Nade, only slightly damaging up Tomajin, and Katzen joining in from the sides also attributes to the success for BESTIA.
It's just a couple of individual fights that BESTIA are able to win, right? And ShindeN go for the penultimate tactical timeout they've got for regulation, but BESTIA are already on 11 rounds. The outside smokes come through. Buddha crosses down. He doesn't ever take any space though, right? He's just holding for a reaction. And then BESTIA pick up 2 kills. First is Thomasin, fully blinded through a smoke, is able to get that opening kill. Then you shut down a second player, and then you just play it passively, slowly. Basically wait for the CTs to react into you. Try and respond. Buddha's able to get 1 kill, confirm the whereabouts of the second guy. They knew exactly where Tommy was. BESTIA are allowing themselves to play the slow game and control the map a little bit. And that's made a whole lot of a difference. 11-6. Final opportunity for ShindeN to try and come back and potentially get a win in regulation if they start winning consecutive rounds here and now. Otherwise, best case scenario would be OT. But BESTIA are looking ready for another very dominant win here.
All right, BESTIA. They're going to go for a quick crunch. Buddha circulating into secret, about to find Fraggerty. If he continues to move. I wonder if this causes ShindeN to rotate Naz out to the open. And that's perfect timing from BESTIA. As soon as ShindeN start to make their moves away from the site, that's when they choose to swing. And it's crippling to the defense of ShindeN.
That felt a little bit non-urgent, right? The 80k gear giveaway is on the right-hand side, so you can click on the banner below the stream, but Fraggerty has been clicked out of the round, and they seem to know where Ivs is saving. If they're able to get that AWP out of his hands, this is going to be a massive hit. That would mean that he's not able to drop a gun over and have an open the next round. There goes the first missed shot. They know exactly where he is now. They can just go and run him down.
Quite a bit of utility, right? So you can potentially throw down a smoke, get closer. Tim will get shot. The thing is, BESTIA can't afford themselves to go too aggressive for this. They've lost a couple of players in the process. Okay, that's about the length that they can afford to lose. And with that, BESTIA do not allow ShindeN to hold any weapons to the next round. And now they're threatening to win their opponent's map pick. 1 round away.
That felt non-urgent out of Naz, right? He misses the timing for the molly, and then by the time that he's towards the left-hand side, 2 players were already out through his fire. his teammates didn't seem to react in time as well. These entries were very instant out of BESTIA. And it was 4 outside smokes. They deployed that double layered wall to escort Buddha down secret and then just went for the A-pop. It's a cool call. Still didn't move any of the ShindeN pieces, but it does work.
Oh, how does ShindeN navigate these tough times? Hard to imagine they can come back with 6 rounds consecutive given how BESTIA have been performing. Oh, they'll give it their all. Toma. It's 1v1'd. Unlike him. Same could be said about Cassin. ShindeN giving their best chance here by having 2 players from the upbeat, but Buddha wants to answer in kind, but given spotted through the smoke that has been breaking up by cheese and bullets, the answer is clear. ShindeN may have another life in this.
Ooh. The flick nearly connects. And the Opera should have this one in the back. Ifs one missed the shot, so it's 12-7. And now the T's have no money, right? So because you wanted to hunt the Opera down in the previous round, you've actually put yourselves in a very tough situation financially where you might have to call this one off. You're going to have an AK in the hands of Buddha, but everyone else is going to be on the pistols. Actually, he dropped one over to Cassin as well. So you've got this round. This could mean 12-8. At 12-8, ShindeN could be playing against an anti-eco. So at 12-9, and suddenly, ShindeN still might have an opportunity to bounce back.
All right. ShindeN give themselves another opportunity. Omijed tagging down Timo. Rough fight for BESTIA, but it seems like this is where they can find most of their success. They've really excelled in those lower pistols, but Timo used to be a big part of that. Now, no longer on the server. Won't be able to conform. Nacho has an answer. Ab is nearby. Itchy breaking the doors. This is a good molly.
Ooh, he's
Ab is
burning.
forced out. Smoke. Trying to get out of there. He's done quite a bit, but Cassin ends up dropping. Great performance from Abiz. Both saving his life and getting a pick on his way out. And will double up as well. ShindeN have a few more rounds in them, and that's clear.
Is this going to be one of these maps where BESTIA have such a comfortable lead, but then they are struggling to close out? Because we've seen a couple of these examples already. There was one yesterday on Dust2 against Fluxo, actually, right? Where they had that 9-2 lead, and then they underestimated the final round, and it became 9-3, and then they started losing consecutive rounds, and eventually it became the tied up score at 9 apiece before they went over to win 4 in a row and close it. Shout out Steak. Check out the banner below the stream for the $35 reload. But yeah, it's not like we've not seen BESTIA struggle in these situations before. Obviously, the T side of Nuke, one of the more difficult ones to get that final round on, especially if things are not working out well. And especially as the CTs have started building up that momentum. Looking very clean on the anti-eco, not a single frag. Money's not going to be an issue, and Ivs is already on 22 and 12. He's had a great recovery throughout this map.
No way ShindeN are making a case for themselves in this map. And this is why they've been so deadly. They just are completely difficult to drop off, right? They just hang on for dear life, and they keep on asking the question, can you close out the game? Can you? Definitely he's given them confidence, even if they do end up losing this one. The next maps, the belief that they can take on every game. Abbott trying to look away from the flash, but in the process, Cassin is there to interrupt. So BESTIA now, for the first time in 3 rounds, have got the first pick.
This is where you want to close it out if you don't want to let the game get too uncomfortable. A 13-9 win is still a bit of a statement. You let this one slip, then you're going very close to overtime territory. But IFS is one step ahead with that drop from heaven. AK spotted. First kill goes their way. IFS with another. They might be staying alive.
This is a really good hold here by ShindeN. Timo able to answer back, but Tommy pushing past the smoke bolsters up this A-side defense. BESTIA need to rethink about this. Spread out. Buddha was trying to add another layer to this attack, but has to completely reconfigure.
Big kill. Nas is ready. He was anticipating the climb up from Buddha. And that should signalize that nacho was right in front of that A-bomb site. He was probably waiting for Buddha to make a move.
Do you save? Do you try and get the bomb down? Probably the latter.
He's got a smoke, so technically he can deploy that. See if someone's gonna peek. He's seen Tommy.
Ooh, bullet somehow flying away from nacho there. The USP will do it.
I have no
slightly
clue
too
how
high.
this first spray didn't actually connect. It felt like his crosshair was right on top of him. The bomb plan is not too bad for BESTIA, but their chances are going out the window slowly but surely. In the technical timeout, hopefully everything's going to be alright and there's going to be no real issues.
All right, ShindeN have now made it a very doable affair and have made BESTIA second guess themselves. An eco coming out from them as well will likely put ShindeN on 11, and then we've got a conversation about overtime. What a turn of events that would be. It's starting things off successfully for ShindeN. Nicely positioning, but these smokes are causing a lot of chaos, and it's hard to find the CTs defending. Naz somehow able to stay under the radar, even with nacho running right past them. It's ridiculous. Util is enough to disturb BESTIA's efforts. And indeed, a fight for overtime for ShindeN becomes very, very, very real.
What a phenomenal comeback that's been out of these guys. That was a 12-6 score. They had 6 chances, BESTIA, to close this one out. And it feels like they've not even been near getting around over the board. That's the mental part of it all, right? Is the fact that the moment that BESTIA got up to 12 rounds, ShindeN just started dominating. And now they've got one last opportunity. Or it's another BESTIA OT. And if you're MIBR, you're so happy to see all of this, by the way. You want whoever plays against you later on to be tired. To be off after a very exhausting and long series. I know they're going to get a 30-minute break at least, but if they get to play a bunch of overtimes, a bunch of longer maps, this is better for you.
It's such a BESTIA thing if this goes to overtime. We have to play so many. And a lot of those, because they have been able to close games, not only just them having comebacks, because those have existed too. Am I already deleted? BESTIA, they're playing scared. Not decisive movements taken at all. It's shaky. Abbott make a given opportunity for the pick. Nacho answers quickly. So 4 versus 4 scenario with 40 seconds on the clock. Nacho getting picked off. And again, BESTIA holding still, uncertain on where to move.
Dioper's posted well. Thomason, the shutdown. Fraggy! Hold on a second. Thomas, you might have just done a madness. He's under heaven. If Ivs goes for the white peak, Thomason should be able to punish, and that's exactly what he does. And it's Thomason all alone to put an end to the misery of ShindeN on Nuke. It's a 13-11. BESTIA struggled, but they do still weigh their opponent's map pick.
So, had to go their way. Relatively similar to how Nuke went flat for them. Same could be said about that matchup, but the most recent one and what allowed them to get to where they are, and also beat the elimination map for their opponent. It was a 13-9 against Fluxo. So BESTIA definitely feeling quite confident coming into this one, but can they shove the shakiness aside and bring out the dominant form they showed at the very beginning of Nuke? We'll be finding out.
They need some next level CS going into this map. ShindeN, now or never for them to respond back. Of course, this is the consolidation final. MIPR is waiting for the winner of this game. And the MIPR boys are probably watching right now. Getting ready, getting into the mood, waiting for this game to be over. Pissed around. It's going to be a B-pop out of the tees. You've got Abyss and Naz that need to step up.
Abyss, the waiting. Together, Naz, obviously that Ichi softens up the attack a little bit, but BESTIA still find the entries necessary and don't lose too many players in the process. ShindeN looking to play aggressively off the back of this. Iv's flashed in, but Nacho is very good to end up with a double kill there. Beautiful headshots landing. BESTIA not falling asleep on the wheel at all. Instead, firm grip of the helm, and the ship is sailing forwards.
Yeah, it's a clean start on that T side. And we did already see what BESTIA can do when they get that momentum early on Dust2 yesterday against Fluxo. It was a very similar case, right? Where they lost the pistol round, but then they ended up winning 7 rounds in a row. They got a 9-2 lead, and it felt like it should have been a 10-2. These T sides have been very, very tough to deal with for a lot of their opposition. CT side-wise, there has been some issues, but it's no coincidence we made that point on the first map. These are the 2 best T-sided teams in this entire tournament so far. First buy will still come through, though. There's a bit of attack from the scout onto Buddha. Ivs showing a good game so far today. He was probably one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that ShindeN were able to make that first game or first map a little bit closer. Talking about the 23-year-old Oper, joined in August of 2024, product of the 9Z Academy. Played there in 2022 and 2023, so primarily CSGO actually. He was on 9Z Academy alongside Huasu Peak, interestingly enough. That's how long ago we're talking. Played with Buddha there as well. There's a little bit of fun trivia for you all. Ex-teammates. That's from back in 2022, though. It's from a very long time ago.
Handlob. Tommy's revealed, so won't be able to be too sneaky behind the smoke here. Raggedy gets stinked out. Naz's position, even though he wanted to go for luck and nearly had enough timing. Cassin turns just in time.
I can't believe Thomason just dropped down after him. He heard him jumping down CT and he was like, yeah, I'm coming after you, man.
Join.
You're not getting out of here. I want to get that kill.
Just want to give him company, dude. Give him a hug.
You want to make sure you get your hands on the Galil. Thing is, Thomason might have just lost the rifle because Buddha's low on HP, and Abyss has actually dropped Cassin. They are trying very hard to get everything out of the hands of the CTs.
You also need to be cautious not to lose too much yourself. But, I mean, this was a force by ShindeN, so you get it. BESTIA have been winning. Is this all of the pistols for BESTIA? I think it may be. What would they definitely won the first pistol of the map on Nuke? Did they win the second one? Yes, they did.
Yeah,
so this is all pistols for BESTIA.
They did win the second pistol, but the reason I was thinking about it is because they lost the conversion straight away, right?
Sure.
So the second half actually started 3-1 in favor of ShindeN, but BESTIA did win the pistol.
So 3 for 3 for BESTIA, and this time they're able to convert in their favor on the second. I wonder if any chances are taken by ShindeN here. Is that Back here in short. Ivs can't quite connect soon enough. Lovely headshot from Buddha.
Yeah, didn't even stop. Just running around. Headshotting him straight away. So this one should be a pretty clean and easy 3-0 lead. Now, AWP-wise, I think they've already got that presence figured out, right? What we need is, first ShindeN, maybe a little bit more out of guys like Fragedy, like Abyss. The people that have been bringing so much impact on the rifles over the course of the last couple of days. I know Tommy's been playing very well as the IGL, but you got to be looking at some of the guys that are getting some of the better positions as well, like Fragedy, who's been the best player in the event once again, but pretty neutralized on that previous map.
Buddha is sharp. I think all 3 of his kills have been off of one-tap headshots. Margin ends up going down, so Macton given over to the hands of Abyss, but it's hard to imagine that will be the gun we'll have at the end. Not only because Buddha's on the chase, but they're going to be buying up with rifles after this. Truly chasing after Abyss here, not giving it any chance at survival. Single casualty as well for BESTIA, so closing in on best case scenario. Now, I know the sample size is short for ShindeN, but for BESTIA, their T side, this is some of their best work over on Dust2. They have a tendency of winning just above 60, well, just below 62% of their T side rounds.
Is someone thinking, okay, he's going up short. This is very quick. 130. He's already taken a little bit of space, but the AWP is posted there. So Thomason has to be careful. Not that he knows of it, but he's not going to overplay his hand. And it is a bit of a bonus buy that BESTIA are rocking, right? So this is ShindeN that are in a bit of a, between a rock and a hard place, a bit of a tough spot to get around. Molly should actually burn Thomason and force him out of position. Nivs has heard that, so decides to go for the drop.
Molly Reed.
And it's a good trade.
Yeah. What's BESTIA's plan here, though? 50 seconds on the clock, and now they're starting to group up in short.
I feel like it's a bit of a scouting mission, right? You try and see what you can get away with. It looks like a short exec. I was going to say maybe a mid-to-B play would not be a bad idea, but it is looking like they want to go away. That's why Nacho's going back towards long. He's going to be playing on that flank. It's all about the patience. If they're able to get some clean entries, he can take care of that AWP.
They've been quiet for the longest time, so ShindeN don't really have any information to rely on for quick rotations, but they have the best case scenario with 3 CTs available for the defense. Fragedy taking an off angle, able to find one together with Tommy. They've done quite a bit. 12 seconds. Is that enough of a denial of space?
Long play.
It's yet to be tested, but Macho joining in.
Oh, he's missed.
Nearly goes astray, but Ivzo has just enough time to get a shot through. Bomb will be going down with only a second to spare. A 2v2. Nacho playing the long end. Is he spooked off? Cassin, a one-on-one. Nacho with an AWP. We've got a big green 1v1 with the AWP not having an eyesight of the bomb. Abyss playing it aggressive, knowing Nacho will have to play fast here. And with that, ShindeN introduced themselves to Dust2.
That was a little bit weird, right? Cassin is able to get a kill, but then Nacho's playing this one almost too passively. It felt like there was a moment of miscommunication. He was starting to get lined up as if the bomb was planted for him. But Cassin simply didn't have enough time to plant it somewhere else, right? He had to run for the bomb site. It was only 4 seconds. That was because, again, Nacho was a little bit late on that long flank. He allowed the AWP to get a kill. And Ivs, it might have been just 1 kill, but that's what messed up with the entire timing of BESTIA's play. It won so much time over for ShindeN. The stake odds are still heavily in favor of BESTIA, but this is ShindeN showing a little bit of teeth at the start of this map.
May have shown their Achilles heel as well, though. Very close round. ShindeN to collect. But now the refocus is on. A little bit more spread apart our BESTIA at the start of this game. This time a high likelihood for that mid to be you were talking about, Ted, especially with the two players lingering around tunnels. They're able to block out the other side of the map with a mid to B smoke. It could be quite impactful. Exactly what they are trying to go for. Flood smoke also thrown in, so caution in the win for ShindeN. Not quite certain of this commitment. The 3 from tunnels, 2 from mid seems to be the call, but it's a delayed and slow play from BESTIA. Now it's nearby. And it's the best case scenario for him. Blind. BODDIK can't quite counteract it. The rest of the BESTIA squad are starting to move in, and Abyss has taken action into side itself. Instantly deleted, and nacho, holy moly, ends up with 2 pit kills. Smoke off on doors, so no more access for ShindeN unless they work for it quickly. It looked like at first that Fragedy wanted to play aggressive, but after realizing there's no more kills for them, they'll vacate the premises.
Yeah, you have to save. Fragedy's down to 45 HP, Tommy Jet is down to 60 HP. And this is so tough. It's so weird. That was such a great decision out of the second player in towards middle, by the way, to back off. I'm not sure who that was, but the moment that Tomajan goes down, it was the easiest thing ever to get a little bit lost in the sauce and swing for the refrag. It was that moment of waiting for the peek in towards window. He spots out the second guy in window, and then he just starts screaming at the B players. He's like, I know we're both of the bar. It's your turn to play. So when they go out, they know there's not going to be anyone on the left-hand side, no one playing the close corners. They're just looking at the bomb side and the window. They get the first kill. They know the second guy's at the door. It's all that piece of information. That's everything. That's what makes the difference. And Nacho's there to oblige. He's on 9 and 1 at the start of that T side. Electric shooting. BESTIA want to run away with this one. They don't want to waste any time. There's the replay. Who was the second guy? That was BODDIK. That's such a great decision out of BODDIK to back off, get the information, and call for his teammates to take the space on B.
He already averted the gaze of his opponent's job was already done. Fragedy ends up with 2. That's already a decent result from ShindeN's player.
It's a bit mental, because he was all alone as well.
I'm blinded.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ivs doesn't miss shots like that very often, but it was a difficult shot to land. Long distance, single scope, high accuracy, high angle.
They can walk right underneath his AWP, by the way.
He's making the right choice to drop a little bit further back.
They spotted the first player, but that smoke in towards Gandalf should give away the position of the AWP.
Trying to play.
You see that, you know there's someone playing around it.
Timo is aware. Ooh, Abyss with a 5-7. Nearly ends up with a double kill, but Cassin also drinks out his secondary and goes back to the rifle duties. Not many bullets left into that weapon. And for that reason, ShindeN are able to overwhelm on both directions at the same time. That's able to give them a second round of the game.
That was a little bit weird, because it felt like they were holding for something like this, but then the swing through the smoke comes through and it's just a 5-7. It was such a discoordinated play, right? So you're not expecting that, because no one else is fighting short, no one else is showing presence. The 5-7 just decides to swing without a flash. That's such a crazy play. Because if it doesn't work out, it's a miracle that it does work out for a kill. If it doesn't, you've basically just thrown away the advantage of your team, but it somehow does land for ShindeN. It's a very unorthodox approach to the situation. You're relying on a couple of pieces missing their shots, which has not been a reoccurring topic for BESTIA, but I guess this time it pays dividends.
Speaks volumes. Well, they're not backing out from a fight. Pushing through smokes, keeping BESTIA uncomfortable. This is a pivotal round of the game. We'll decide how the next parts of this half will go. Ivs idle. Not alone. Oh, best case scenario to get a collateral like that by Ivs. Throws it down a molly to limit BESTIA to a single trajectory. But BESTIA need an answer, they need it quick. Double smoke allowing them to cross. So Margin getting onto the side, but needs something more than just a spray. Thought he connected it onto one, but wasn't able to do so. Switches back to the other, ends up to 4. And as BESTIA try to retreat, they're getting picked up piece by piece. ShindeN look more and more comfortable on that A side by the second.
Nacho's actually rotated back towards middle very quickly, and he's pressed the shift button in time. The player in towards short has missed him. And he's... Oh, God. Got in the first kill. He's not ready for Tommy, though. And should get taken down. Somehow is still alive. And he is sprinting towards B. Thing is, Abbas is going to beat him to the chase. He has stopped. Tommy's low. Doesn't matter. He's out of there.
I mean, there's no money to buy in the next round. Tommy might as well try and go for the chase, deny the rifle from Nacho's hands. And it's a good thing, too. So like we said, a very pivotal round to how this half will end up going, with ShindeN winning that economical disarray for BESTIA.
I think if you're the coach, you're very unpleased with how they tried to go out of long, right? Because they apparently didn't see the flashes, and then there wasn't a lot of jiggling. There was just, let's multi-peek and hope that if there's an opener, he's gonna miss. And usually you want the first guy to white peek a little bit more, right? So you can take that attention of the AWP away, and if he gets 1 kill, he gets 1 kill. And if you miss out on the refrag, it's still 4v5, and you at least take the space. But the way that they did it is the first guy didn't really go for too much of a white peek. And obviously you line up when you're trying to crawl on the close near side of the wall.
Such an excellent performance, though, from ShindeN as well. The entry Zivs is quite the presence on the map right now. Has to be respected. BESTIA gain catwalk control, but ShindeN provide them that space. Upon clearing it, though, have switched up their minds. No. I mean, there's no smoke for them to go for a mid to B cross, so this has to be some sort of a catwalk crunch. No flash either. As dry as it comes.
Yeah, should be a clean conversion. Even 1 kill would be too much. And that's a great opportunity for the CTs to build up onto the economy. Flash goes high. It's perfect setup coming out of this. Tommy's just gobbling them up. Cassin has got a bit of a timing to drop down CT, but they should clear him out probably. Knowing that he's not really made his presence known anybody or anywhere else, sorry. 4 apiece, we're tied up. But this is good. I mean, map 1, especially the first half, was not really representative of the strengths of ShindeN. It kind of felt like they were a bit shocked at what was going on, and they couldn't really fight back. Now it feels like we're seeing a bit more consistency, some more solid Counter-Strike out of him. Feels like they're playing a lot more relaxed as well, right? If there was any nerves at the start, now it feels like they're gone.
BESTIA. Looking to do damage on 2 different fronts. It's the B position that has inflicted some pressure. Abba's down to 16 points of health. B-side's a little bit more treacherous this time around. 3 players strong. Cannot be the easiest to handle. As we approach the 40-second mark, BESTIA will start to make their moves. Yet another smoke towards CT spawn. Molly as well on tunnels. This is going to disrupt some of the timings. Not much utility available for ShindeN apart from some flashes, but those flashes are doing so damn much. BESTIA completely crumbling down on the ShindeN defense, massively coordinated, just read BESTIA like a book.
Yeah, they were just anticipating the play. They had 3 people in towards the B bomb side, 2 of them ready for the mid to B play. One of them in towards the wooden construction on the right-hand side, right in front of the window. The other one in towards the door boxes. They're just walking into a deadly crossfire. It's not even close. BESTIA started this map so well on the T side, and now it feels like ShindeN are right back at it. Driver's seat, Ab is getting multi-kills. But it's everybody else, actually. It's a team effort. Your bottom fraggers are on 5 kills. Your top fraggers on 8 kills. Everybody else in between. They might be getting a win here in the first half. Another B-pop. Another attempt towards the same bomb site. And again into Abyss and Nas's domain.
Doesn't get cleaner than that, does it? Oh boy, and they haven't even budged the meter. Haven't even budged an inch. BESTIA struggling again. This is a lot like what we've seen before from them. Some indecisiveness going on. Sure, you can't really take this round in isolation. We're just talking about the last 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think there were some minor mistakes again in a position where when they were dominating, right, and they had the control over the game, they were making some smaller mistakes that have allowed their opponents to come back into it. And it was a very similar story yesterday as well against Fluxo, right? That was one of the reasons why this game was a lot closer. I think it's just the fact that sometimes it feels like they're a little bit too relaxed when they have the lead, and so far they've been getting punished for it by ShindeN. A 2-round game now. ShindeN have proven that they still have some fight left in them. That was a lovely spray down coming out of Nas. Completely denying that B play. Not giving them an opportunity. Not even remotely.
So, stake odds have switched up a little bit, even though they're fairly close. ShindeN now the favorites. BESTIA, safe to say, a very important round. 2 rounds left in the half in total. And a group attempt in mid once more. Not really tested by ShindeN, not yet. Amateur is looking to potentially play a little bit closer to the door here. Can be quite disruptive if BESTIA leave it unchecked. And in terms of long, you're going to have an early warning system with Abyss playing so damn far forwards. So if ShindeN want to spend the extra player to defend into this B site, they're welcome to. Again, down to the 40-second mark until BESTIA make their move. I'm going to make sure one of these smokes don't go as far forwards. This time, not the 3-player stack from ShindeN. Is this good enough for BESTIA to start making their move? Abyss, a double kill out of nowhere. Timo and Cassin get deleted. Buddha catching his opponent off guard.
No way.
So low in health. Nacho somehow holding on, but Buddha won't. 14 seconds. The bomb will go down, but it's a numbers deficit for BESTIA.
Nacho needs that headshot angle. This could actually work out so well for him. He's so low on HP. If they don't peek him from a headshot angle, he's got no chance. But now 2 of them are going there. And Tomajan, if he's able to run down Ivs.
Still a flash available for Raggedy as well, so he could throw that in for Ivs.
There you
but
go.
Instead, he ends up falling. Great peek out from Tomajan. Now Nacho needs to stay quiet. Needs the double. A headshot has got to land. Had 2 chances there. Could only find the first one in once more, but it will not be enough. Naz there to clutch it up. 1 kill in the round, but 1 kill is enough. And ShindeN do not allow BESTIA to break their streak.
Thomason is absolutely furious, by the way, because he gets the kill onto the mid player, and obviously he doesn't know if there's a second guy, but that's when Nacho should lift his head up and actually go for the peek into his last box, right? And look at that again. It's such a wild round. The fact that Abbas gets so much done and the T still nearly win the round, it's absolutely mental. But that's the one. Thomason allowed to go down. Nacho was just a little bit too late with the peek, and he couldn't find a connection onto Nas. A 7-4 lead for ShindeN. They want a third map out of this.
Definitely do. This time, BESTIA wanting to play it aggressive. Nacho overstepping is welcome, though. Not assisted by any flashes or any other players either. Molly getting Ivs out into the open, so the trades are even for now. Bomb can be collected, but with Tommy on site and Naz nearby for support, this is dangerous. Tommy wanting to go for a fight. Thinking about it. You can hear the commotion. Tomajan gets there quicker, though. The timing there just working out for BESTIA. This is the first time they've had the advantage in quite some time.
They need this one.
Look behind.
Had such a comfortable lead at the start. You need to get a 7-5 at least.
Buddha is looking.
Should be ready for the flank.
At the flank, indeed. But ends up losing the 1v1, and now his teammates are in the open, have to find cover and readjust. Oh,
they need to move together. They'll soon enough realize that there's no one coming out of short, but Nas is actually rotating back there.
The bomb isn't planted for them.
Did they realize it? He's so late. They're not looking.
No one is checking. Naz getting the first. Cassin trades. He's out into the open. No cover. Has to readjust. Realizes that bomb is not there for him, so has to get the pick. Indeed gets there. So a positive to close out the half for BESTIA. But is it really positive after losing so many rounds in a row?
A 7-5 lead in favor of ShindeN, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the consolidation final map 2 of the StarSeries Season 20 South America Closed Qualifier between ShindeN and BESTIA. BESTIA one map up with a very good start in the first half of their own map. Big, but a bit of a resurgence coming in from their countryman has led to a 2-round game in favor of ShindeN walking into that T side. If we get to a third and final map, that would be a Mirage, but BESTIA have not said their final words on the CT side of Dust. That's a bit of a fake. Look at the ruse. Everyone's rotated away from B, but it's just 2 players.
Yep, this is going to be an easy plant. Timo will end up dealing with Faggoty, and Naz getting away is quite a decent end result, but BESTIA at least have the numbers here. No flash available for them, so try peek galore. There's a reason why this is called the B Fortress. But most players moving in from tunnels. Naz Oh, he's been checked, and Cass has been left to try and handle him. The rest of the cavalry now moving up to the site, ignoring who is behind. Now you need to figure out where the setup is for your opponents, but they're lurking in every single nook and cranny imaginable. Good frag for Cassin, but not quite good enough. And ShindeN able to take care of business in round number 1 on the T side.
Some of these fakes have been working out very well, and the reason this one works out so well is because you're able to actually chase them back with utility primarily, and they want to play from the back of the bomb side. So the moment that all this utility gets thrown and there's no CTs that are actually challenging, and the B players are passive enough, people running around, they're not seeing anything elsewhere, so they just buy into it. They're like, well, we've been smoked off, we've heard a bunch of flashes, we don't have any vision long, surely this is where they go. And Buddha, he looks very upset right now. It's like things are just not clicking. Obviously, we're talking about another young IGL, but he's got a lot to say. He's getting a little bit emotional, and you can basically understand why. Again, it feels like BESTIA are getting a little bit distracted the moment that they feel like they control the game. And Buddha's had the tough time of, or the tough task of replacing Noxy as the IGL. Just a 23-year-old in-game leader is Buddha. Joined the team in November of 25. That's 2025. Was on crew before that. Obviously on 9Z for a very short amount of time back in 2024. Product of the academy. Played on 9Z alongside Martinez, Huaso Peak, Max, and DGT. So he's learned from Max.
Can he get the team back in the right mindset, with the right headspace? It takes a particular set of skills.
Yeah. He's the one that's played Tier 1 events as well, right, with 9Z. He made top 4 at IM Dallas 2024. He's played an IM Rio, an ESO Pro League. He's played a Cologne, an IM Chengdu, a Dallas, another Rio. He's been around the block, is basically what we're saying. Even though he's young. And even played a major. That was the IM Rio major in 2022. Nacho.
Well, not too shabby. Hey, if you get an upset round here, it wouldn't be too bad.
This is terrifying. Knife out.
Boy.
Knife out. What is going on?
And Tamajin can now readjust into the B site as well. Boost coming through, but Fragedy catching up to that on time. Low HP bars, but only onto one. Tamajin only just getting away. Oh boy, this is awkward. He can now exert pressure. While they're focused on him, the rest of the players can drop in, but these HP bars are troublesome. Tamajin draws instantly. Ivs accurately connects onto the headshot, and the chances of winning this one may have gone up in flames for BESTIA. Not the best weapon for the situation for Cassin. Ivs taking advantage of the situation, getting close, but so far, it's painful.
Buddha looks very frustrated, by the way. This is back-to-back rounds. They've been so close to winning the round, and so far, they did so much damage. They had the man advantage up until the very last second. I'm not sure what happened there. How they lost all of these fights towards the end. But the IGL is definitely not happy with how things have been going. And the IGL on the other side, Tommy, he's buzzing. It's so good for ShindeN. This is probably going to be a 10-5. Ivs is playing great. Abyss is playing out of his mind. Fragedy and Naz are both delivering as well. Everything is working out right now for ShindeN. This is starting to look like a third map more and more. And with how good the individuals have looked for the side of ShindeN, a Mirage might be exactly what they need.
I mean, it's crazy how things have changed for BESTIA, considering how they looked like at the very beginning of Nuke. Completely different story. How can one team have so many different faces? And which one is the facade, right? Which one is the real BESTIA? Maybe the real BESTIA is the combination of the two, and we have to accept it with their strengths and weaknesses.
It is very weird, isn't it? Because they are the most exciting and the most non-exciting team to watch at the same time because of the lack of consistency, right? Sometimes they're the best. Sometimes things are just not working out, and it feels like they're pretty locked out. Feels like they're not really on the same page. But then when they are on the same page, they are definitely one of the best teams on this level of competition in South America. But now they're definitely not. And ShindeN, they've worked their way back into this. And as we said, from a mental point of view, even from an Argentinian hierarchy point of view, this type of matchup is so big for ShindeN. They're getting to play against some of the bigger names in their own region. Especially for the young guys on the team.
Sure.
I mean, Tommy's 23 as well, but he's been on some of the best Argentinian teams over the years. But for, let's say, someone like Abyss, who's been playing for 4 or 5 years, but not on the top team. Someone like Ivs that has barely any experience on this level. Someone like Guti, who's the newest player on the team. This is a great opportunity.
Even though this is going Bestia's way right now, I still feel like for them to get back into this map, they need someone to start getting multi-kills, have a bit of a moment, show that they're the top dogs here, and ShindeN are supposed to be inferior. So far, it's just a pick for Buddha and Tima per player, over and long. No longer tested by ShindeN anymore. Shot lands for Cassin.
Just gotta be careful, because apparently the margin between Bestia and Worstia is very thin.
Nice one.
Thank you.
It finds a pick. This is pretty huge. If Nacho goes down without a fight, it becomes problematic.
He needs to stay alive for a little bit longer, though.
Ooh.
And this is terrifying for some reason. They have a chance.
The reason is that the B site's been taken over. No one from Bestia is there. They're permitting the cross. Bomb will be going down. The pressure's on Bestia right now. If Tommy gets a multi-frag, it's all over. Molly is there. But thankfully, the numbers are superior for Bestia and are able to wipe their brow and make it rain when it's been a drought for so long.
All right, in true Bestia fashion, that would be the most traditional thing they could do. The most stereotypical thing they could do is let ShindeN get up to a 10-5 and then somehow bring this game back. Force it into an overtime, or at least all 24 rounds. That's how Bestia operate. That's their brand of Counter-Strike. It's something MIBR should be ready for as well, right? It's very scrappy games, no matter who they're going to be up against later on today. But especially if it is Bestia. I guess they already know what to be expecting out of ShindeN to some extent. They already played against them. For ShindeN, this is a story of we need to try and beat the top dog in Argentina just to make sure that we get a rematch against MIBR. Try and look for revenge.
And they want to do it with the least amount of maps possible as well, right? Given that the next match they'll be playing is just today. So, rest is at a premium.
Ooh. It's actually massive that he doesn't go down, by the way, Abyss. They're probably going to hunt him down, but they're going to waste a little bit of time. His teammates need to get activated a little bit quicker.
Yeah, they're late to the party, so Buddha closes in on Abyss.
Look at Tommy.
And a lot of information as well, knowing that Tommy was Abyss was sort of isolated out one short. It begs the question, by process of elimination, where are the rest of his opponents, his teammates, actually?
No one's holding short.
This could become a massive issue. The smoke, though, providing some cover, at least for now. It's down. Smoke will fade, surely. And this is when the double kill could come through. From Tommy Jed, and it's more than a double, it's a triple, and a 1v1 scenario created. Tommyson, he's on the bottom end, but for some reason, Tommyson doesn't quite know it's going to be the clutch, but should it have been that close?
That's so mental. To be fair, I don't know why the ShindeN players speak that early, right? Maybe they were afraid that someone would turn around and look in towards short, but surely you just hide and you realize, okay, Tommy's got a good position, we let him play next. One of us needs to stay alive for him to be able to actually have some impact, and he's able to get a massive multi-kill, but everybody else falls down. And this might be Bestia bringing it back. The 80k gear giveaway. Make sure you click on the banner below the stream. Find out how to sign up. You link your Kick account, watch the live stream, earn tickets, and then you can win a mouse. We're giving away 8 gaming mice, and this is the last day of everything for this qualifier. So find an opportunity. And of course, shout out ATK. We love him. They're always attacking my heart.
I thought that was my job.
You've got it. You don't need to attack it anymore.
2 Halson, Ted. 2 Halson. Breakthrough in mid.
That was I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
this is quite fine from Nacho as well. Ooh. Yeah, chill. Oh, yeah. I know how you feel. The sigh of relief as well as from BESTIA. It's been a while since they've had an easy round. Straightforward one, at least. So, what's next? This has started to get very close. For anybody that's joining in, this is lower bracket finals. BESTIA winning this, get themselves a match against MIBR to make it as the South American representatives of this close quali into the main event. This BESTIA have not dropped a game, a series actually, since the very start. They've been acting as grim reapers of this lower bracket.
Yeah, the consecutive wins are the terrifying thing, right? If they are able to win this one in a 2-0 fashion as well, you're going to be looking at the momentum that BESTIA have been able to gather up throughout this entire close qualifier.
I don't know if
one win over Galorys, 2-0 over LP, 2-0 Fluxo, and now dreaming of another 2-0 here, especially if BODDIK keeps on shooting like this.
If they end up winning.
Long.
Word momentum is debatable. Eisen tunnels as well. Tamashin has also gained so much space for free.
Yeah, the thing is the Oprah can't really move away, right? Because you're still careful about them walking out of middle potentially and coming back to a mid to B play. But the moment that Nacho takes contact, you should know it's an A play. Also, he hears them on short.
He does. Lower tunnels push doesn't reveal anybody closer. You know there's going to be a quick fight. Faggly surprised that Nacho was so far forwards. Complications added to the mix for ShindeN. Low on time. Need a lot more than that. Just that pick. Abba sprays in the approximate direction where he saw a pixel from Cassin. The lurk comes through. It's a bit of a disruption. The player from ramp also chimes in. Nacho walks right in the nick of time. Good coordination by the 2 remaining players of BESTIA.
Yeah, that was a little bit terrifying, by the way. That was the 2v4. They nearly bring it back, but Thomason, he did an expert job. Just jiggling, firing a couple bullets, never committing to a fight. He didn't need to get the kills. He was just acting as a distraction, just making sure that they know if they turn around in towards Nacho, even if they hear him running, Thomason is just going to swing, and he's going to be in a pole position. Great work out of Nacho as well with that early off angle in towards long, securing the kill. BODDIK with the double to put BESTIA in that advantageous position in the first place. They've brought it back. Again, the amount of comebacks that these guys have provided has been immense. It's all about the mental fortitude of BESTIA. They're like warriors. They never let go. They never go down. Never going down without a fight. And this is with Timo having a pretty slow and quiet map for his standards. Nacho has already hit 20 bomb though.
Yeah, Nacho's had a really good game here. And this is what we were talking about in terms of the depth of BESTIA, right? Whether it's Tomajen, whether it's Cassin, whether it's Timo. Those have been the names that we've been mostly highlighting throughout the tournament, but Nacho also standing out. Anyone can have a carry type game. BODDIK out into the open. Oh, does ground though. He had to use all of his bullets out of the M4 to produce that triple kill. And even though the M4 is collected by Tommy, it just feels like the job is done by the captain of BESTIA here.
These multi-kills out of Buddha have been immense. I know this is an anti-eco, but every single time they go into short towards him, it feels like he's able to get a multi-kill. Doesn't matter if it's guns, pistols, machetes. Maybe they're gonna try that as well if someone's rocking the Bowie knife. Nacho. There goes one. And that's going to tie the game. Bestia have leveled things up.
Look at the laugh. I feel like we need a compilation of the emotions that Buddha has shown this series.
Yeah, he's a pretty animated guy, isn't he? He was so frustrated just 5 rounds ago. I swear there was a tactical timeout, a 30-second tactical timeout where Buddha didn't shut up for a second. He just impersonated Rap God. And now he's just laughing, smiling. He looks so relaxed. He was furious.
Thing is,
such a short while ago.
Having watched the BESTIA games previously, I wouldn't say Buddha is an animated guy. This game has proven this.
Yeah, it feels like he cares a lot more. Also, shout out Steak. Go and check them out. Use that weekly bonus up to $35. Click the banner below the stream, but yeah, I think it shows that he cares a lot more here. That's what it feels like. Also, he does know that he's literally 3 rounds and 1 more best of 3 away from sending Bestia over to their first tier 1 LAN event. And he's played tier 1. He knows what that would mean to a lot of his teammates.
And to the organization as a whole, right? To Argentinian organizations. It's injury. Only touching a slither of Tommy's skin. Crisscross smoke. But this still doesn't look like a B hit just yet. It's a ruse. An obfuscation of what the true plans actually are. But if Abyss is given all the space in the world, maybe it won't be a ruse. There's 44 seconds. Abyss gets shut down. On rotation are the rest of Bestia, but they can hear the utility. What? Buddha was so laser to focus on short that he didn't notice that a player slid by on ramp. He ends up falling. Frag catching Cassin by a guard. 11 seconds. You've got to start moving, but Timo is good enough to shut down one of the positions. And Ivs running in with a pistol will not be enough. Buddha is elated. Bestia have regained control. They are now back in the lead.
He can smell the grand final. And that would be such a painful way for ShindeN to let this one go. But Bestia have turned everything around. Look at that from Cassin. He's the hero regardless of Fraggity's impact as well. Timo stepping in with the double kill to put them to sleep. 11 rounds on the board. Bestia have turned everything around. And what a story that's been. Another comeback out of Bestia. They were down 10-5. 10-5 they were down. And now they're up 11-10.
But now focus is needed, right? Because when Bestia have got the lead, they often drop the ball. And that's why they've so frequently find themselves in OT. They mustn't let that to be the case this time around. Up against an eco, they could present themselves on map and series points. Unless they fall victims to their own errors. Tomajin pushing past tunnels once again. Sure, it's clear. But not quite aware that Abyss is nearby. Tomajin, he may have cleared tunnels from one end, now he's going to come in from the other. There's Easy Pixel. The information was given both from ShindeN and Bestia. The double approach commences. Buddha there for reinforcement, flash through, but Buddha is scared of a potential mid-crunch. Does he come in to help out his teammate? That's the question. Not quite so. There is help, however, from Cassin from above, but while he's focused on lower tunnels, ShindeN might seize the opportunity to move into the A site. Smoke in the middle, that could provide them some space. Bomb is going down, albeit the incendiary thrown in. Timo staying quiet, getting the pick, but suddenly the pistols are chiming back. With that, they may have a way back in, but multiple angles for BESTIA make this one all impossible. TommyJ too far away from the action. BESTIA will be winning this one.
They're just the comeback heroes of this event. They're never going down, never letting go. And that would be 6 consecutive maps. They need one more round. That's 7 in a row now on the CT side. What a recovery it's been. BESTIA are looking strong. They won that game. They won that grand final against MIBR, and you can tell they do. Nacho is on 7 multi-kill rounds. And it is a little bit wild. ShindeN have been getting so many opening kills. Timo's 1 in 6 in opening fights. But it doesn't matter. Guti, Nas, 4 in 1, 4 in 2. They've got only one player who's negative in opening fights, but it doesn't matter. Because they're still getting dominated in the mid to late rounds.
It's actually going to be their 8th consecutive map, Ted, given the reverse sweep against Galorys.
Nacho's missed the player.
This is quite huge. Nacho still lands an HE, so ShindeN stick around a little longer. Okay, overtime becoming very, very real.
That's the classic, isn't it? A BESTIA OT.
I mean, they haven't had a single series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to say it, Ted? You go ahead.
Yeah, they've played an overtime in every single series that they've played so far. We already made that point earlier, right? So that has the potential to be the first one where it doesn't go OT, but it's just one round the difference. 24 rounds on map 1, 24 rounds on map 2, ladies and gentlemen. Can ShindeN bring this one back and stay alive for a little bit longer?
One round is all it takes. And off to the match versus MIBR, BESTIA can go. Looking like an A hit. But Timo mollied off, giving off an audio cue, so TommyJ has got that information. Minute on the clock, and ShindeN are posturing in for a short collapse. This could get dangerous. Buddha's making the wise decision to close in on A to help with the defense. Smoke's providing some cover, but here come the cavalry. Longer distance, a lot of flashes. ShindeN are permitted access without a single casualty. Buddha's shown, but also traded a 4 versus 4 and a late flank from Abiz if need be. No one coming in from short though, so Abiz will be a little bit irrelevant, at least at the very start. Naz getting a lot of damage across. Not quite the final kill, which is exactly what he needed. To margin, Nacho and Timo, all of them converging on their opponents. Abiz coming in late and not relevant in the round there. BESTIA outsmart, outperform, and overcome 13-11, the 2-0, and MIBR are waiting.
This is such a close series. It doesn't get closer than that, and you can see the reaction. Buddha's absolutely ecstatic. They're all so happy with this one. A 13-11 on map